All right, let's do it then. Oh, hello everybody, how you guys doing? We've got, ooh, look at the new spectator with this purple, I mean not purple, this cyan blue look going here for us. Pretty cool. Anyway, S- tier tournament this week. It's on a Saturday, so we got a little bit of a smaller turnout. My schedule this weekend was, ooh, Nick Walker just does not care about my schedule or about Quake or his Agni or anything, dude. My god. So Quake is a heavy hitter, a Masters player. I'm not sure if he's a Masters right now, pretty sure, but he has been for sure. And is definitely a strong opponent. Has had some, you know, pretty good placings in here overall too. But right now, my man picked Agni here in the S- tier and below tournament. And Agni being a, in my opinion, an A tier god who has, oh, I'm sorry, A plus tier god who has a lot of potential against the higher tiers. But against Thanatos, I feel he really struggles too, specifically. So this is a good matchup that Nick Walker got into, at least in the early. As it goes on into the later stages, it'll get a lot harder for Nick Walker. But generally, he can chase down the Agni pretty decently. We've had this matchup a couple times, and the Thanatos getting Shield of Thorns really helps a lot as well. Nick Walker is really good on the sights right now, just hitting them non-stop. Oh my god, again, and look at this, the ult comes out, he's got a shell, but oh no. Not even going to use it there because actually it would have gone through given the execute. Executes do go through the shell there. It adds, you know, a shield of health, but it doesn't add actual health to you. So your kill threshold is still, you know, at low enough health for Thanatos to execute you there. So very well. Actually, honestly, a smart play from Quake not to shell there. He recognized that the shell wouldn't save him. And it kind of makes the pickup of the shell questionable though, right? Given that, you know, he knows that it's not going to be able to save him from the Thanatos, maybe a little bit poorly planned out there. I've done that before against Alkfong, and I definitely suffered for it. I think you're just better off with the Aegis in this position. So Nick Walker looking to be extremely aggressive here and already picking up 2 kills, you know, exactly the kind of start that Thanatos wants to get off to. And this would be quite interesting because this is the first time we have been hosting polls on Twitch. And never mind, I feel like everybody just switched their votes to Nick Walker because it's 50-50 all of a sudden when it was like heavily in Quake's favor originally. People definitely just started voting now because I didn't exit the poll. You sons of bitches. Fake fans, dude. Fake fans. But yeah, Nick Walker is looking really efficient here, and this is a guy who, you know, we really have not seen much at all from. I've seen him in sub games once or twice. He seemed, you know, mechanically sound. Quake, though, he's just kind of trying to laugh it off, get himself into the right state of mind where he can try to make this long haul comeback, because it's going to be a rough one for him. You know, it's hard facing down Thanatos, who has this big of a snowball going for him. And you're, you know, now a very late game mage. Agni can be a very good mid game pressure based mage, but at this point, I don't think he's gonna have a great time. Nick Walker still hasn't backed actually to pick anything up. Still clinging to just the one boot. The one boot. The single boot. The boots one, that is. And my co-caster Maserati is still at his hard at work. His full-time job. We don't know what he does, but we imagine it's something great. Oh, very confident dash from Quake here, and it looks like Nick Walker might go down here. I'm not sure why he didn't ult away when Quake didn't have anything up. Now would also have been a great time to ult, but I guess he doesn't want to waste it here, and this could be a really bad call. You know, if he ends up going down for this, he's gonna be kicking himself again. Still, there's potential to ult out here while the you know, the kill combo is on cooldown, but he's just kind of gonna eat that. And that's not a good look at all. Completely squashed the lead. You have to recognize when you need to just get out there. And I'm not sure if he was afraid of the long or not cooldown, but startup of the Thanatos ultimate. But that's why, you know, you got to plan it along with your opponent's kill moves being on cooldown. So once he saw that flame wave used and that path of flames on the creep wave, he should just ult out immediately, or while one of the bombs is firing. So Nick Walker really throws a lot away there. Picks up a Heartseeker, which is an interesting first item here. It's going to give him some movement speed to keep tracking Quake down. Does pick up the red buff. A lot of damage coming out from Quake's Bancrofts right now. Just helping him out so much with catching up. Yeah, so I'm not sure if it was really nerves that hit Nick Walker there or just plain overconfidence, but like I said, this is a player that we haven't seen too much in Duel, so the decision making is really key. That's what makes, you know, separates the good players from the great in this game mode. Somebody that can amass a lead like that with Thanatos, and somebody who can slowly gain it back, like Quake is doing on this Agni here, just consistently making the right decisions, while Nick Walker, when, you know, push comes to shove, kind of just letting it all slip. So yeah, Heartseeker though, like I said, generally not what you're going to be looking for. First item defense for Thanatos, especially against the mage, will be very helpful because, you know, you want to mitigate as much of the damage as you can while you aggress onto that mage. He's already got a lot of natural damage, and just with those boots finished, he should have, you know, good enough kill power onto Quake. But, you know, the Heartseeker, it could work for even more snowball for him. And, I mean, it does do a lot of damage. It's just a little... I feel like I never really liked the way that it works with that... with the 5 stacks. I feel like it's a little weird to have to keep the 5 stacks in mind all the time like that to really fully utilize it. So I feel like it ends up not being super efficient. But, you know what? Maybe people just can make better use of it than I. And wow, so much damage from Nick Walker, but the return from Quake, Nick Walker is crazy though. I can't believe he even attempted that. Even without the shell, that was so insane because there was no Death Scythe up. Only his 3, and you know that's not going to be enough damage to take Quake out there. So with his health pool, there was just no way that was going to become a reality for him. But some real raw aggression coming out from Nick Walker. I like the new spectator health bars as well. It makes things a lot clearer, especially in Conquest. You know, here we don't really have that problem too much, except for when people are really, you know, very closely piled on top of each other. But yeah, generally for Conquest at least, it's nice. But I think just aesthetically, it looks better. It's nice little cyan there. I'm like, ooh, so much damage coming out from Nick Walker again. But like I said, the returns from Quake have been strong. Every time he aggresses onto him, you know, he has a response ready. Defense is being picked up here by Nick Walker. Now, it looks like he's going into a Genji's, which would most likely be his pickup here. And that's a very strong item on Thanatos, getting the cooldowns up often. And just a strong item in general, getting that health and magical protections. Quake's got a breastplate finished, and that won't help him against, well, I mean, it will help him a little bit against the strength of the Death Scythe, but overall, the Death Scythe is still hitting for so much, and is also, you know, percentage of health based damage, so, you know, it's still swinging. Nick Walker just has to find the right positions to hit it in, and it looks like with a little bit of that confidence gone from the early game, once he lost that lead, Nick Walker's sides really started failing as well. And you hate to see that happen because you know that the mentality of the player is starting. Ooh, very nice. I don't know if he'll be able to make it out. I don't know why he turns around here. See, the decision making just not as sound as it should be. Oh my god, no mana on the side of Quake, but he doesn't need one to fire a bomb. Haha, Pop Shield of Thorns. He's trying to wait for another bomb. Nick Walker bravely going back in there. Like I said, he doesn't need mana for those bombs, so he'll at least be able to pick up the rest of the wave with that, heal himself a little bit. That's a wasted Shield of Thorns on Quake's side, so at least Nick Walker has that. Red buff is up, so I don't know if Nick Walker recognizes that it is, actually. Definitely wants to turn his sights to that as quickly as possible before Quake is back. But it doesn't look like he's aware of it at all. So it's just going to back off and unfortunately even give it to Quake in this position. And at this point when they're both, 2-2 and it's so close, that red buff could be such a big turning point, especially in just, golden experience gained. So, all right, there you go. He finally realized just because he saw Quake head over to it that it was up. I like the horrific emblem start from Nick Walker. Helped him pick up those early kills. It is such a great snowball item, such a strong item in general. But now he's going to want to pick something defensive up, probably a shell. Missed bomb, I think, from Quake there. Oh, snap. Doesn't matter. Still enough. Yeah, we see a lot of just, raw talent coming out from Quake. Like I said, his responses to a lot of these situations are showing that he's just a little bit more veteran in this game mode than with Nick Walker. But it's really still impressive performance in general so far from Nick Walker. I like the way that he's handled his Thanatos, and you can tell that he's just a solid Thanatos player. Need with some water. This guy named We Want Taco Nudes has just been going insane in chat for the longest time, and I, for some reason, was like forgetting I can ban him. I'm like, wow, what a dick. Who is this guy? But shout outs to my mods for apparently also thinking the same. And then shout outs to High Res Rude for saying @mods to do something when he himself is a mod. That work ethic from Rude. Alright, so Quake feeling very confident, doing those aggressive wave dashes against the Thanatos is not something you generally get away with against Thanatos, and maybe he won't be able to in this position. If he hits this ult, he's got to think about it. There we go. Wow. Yeah. He made one misstep there with that 3 on the wave, and Nick Walker just brought it right back. What a great play. And like I said, Shield of Thorns being such a strong active in this matchup because Agni can't build magical defense against it. So, of course, it's just a large amount of damage coming back to him, especially off his very easily countered abilities like Path of Flames, where he can, where Thanatos can just, while he's in fact chasing the Agni, can be damaging him all the while. Yeah, Rude, yeah. Double defense opted into here for Nick Walker, which I do like, but I'm not sure about this item. It's looking like it's going to be Runeforge. I've seen more and more people pick this up recently, and I'm not too sure what I think about it. I feel like if you're already this late into the game, there's just, better options. You can just go Pestilence for that. Ooh, great Death Sight again. It looks like Nick Walker's really, got a little bit more enthusiasm and just confidence going for him. He was looking a little defeated for a little while there, but now he's really fighting back. Oh, so much damage, though, and there's no Shield of Thorns available. This time around, the passive is actually going to do it, or the minions. Definitely either or, probably the passive, takes out Nick Walker this time. All this while, though, Quake really has been getting some, some substantial benefits off of these kills. When you see Nick Walker kill Quake or force him out, you don't see him go for the buffs as immediately or at all as you can see Quake do. So I think you can really see the lead translate for Quake. Even though it's just 1 kill ahead, it looks like it's a massive lead right now. And in fact, it is in experience. So that really adds up. And gold as well, almost a solid 1K, or even is at this point. So that's the mark of Duel, you just gotta be able to play the map as well as your opponent. you know, the perfect F dot quote of the stuff after the stuff is very relevant for Duel as well. You know, it is in pretty much, well, I mean, all games that have PvE elements to them. Oh, such a crucial death sight. Unfortunately missed there by Nick. If he hit that, I'm not sure how it would have turned out. The fight definitely would have flipped on its head. I'm not sure if it would have, you know, immediately granted him the win in it with that shell proc. But it certainly would have been close. Divine Ruin for Quake has been a great pickup into Thanatos here. He knows that he needs that anti-healing to deal with the Thanatos death sights, especially while he's in the wave, able to, you know, if he's not hitting Quake, safely heal up on the minions themselves. Wow, and there you go. Phoenix taken down just like that. Nice little cheeky stun. Quake just going to dash to safety here, and probably not finish his rod, but yeah, get the tier 2 of it. He's got near full build here, and he is hitting hard. Oh, wow. Nick Walker's build actually took a very interesting turn. Like I said, the Runic Shield, one that I'm a little wobbly on, you know, not entirely confident in, but I see the merits in it. You know, it does reduce the magical power by 50, which is, that's a large number, you know, so that's a lot. And you know, 50 magical power, or 50 magical protection, and some health. You know, it's got some real appeal to it. But then picking up the I forget. You know, Hi-Res Ajax just said how this was actually pronounced. Oh, my man Nick went for one final death sight of desperation there, and it just didn't go his way. I think Quake might be able to end this at this point. Yeah, it's Ankile, I think is what he said it was. It was not what I was saying. I was saying Anchile. Yeah, I was saying Anchile, and I think it's Ankile. It was definitely Keel instead of Cheel. But that's what he says, you know? We don't have to accept that, you know? Ajax, who is he? So, GG. Quake finishes up the game with, you know, that standard mage build and some really phenomenal play. Said being able to fight back from that deficit. No, Nick Walker unfortunately kind of gave it to him in certain key moments of the game that just led to his demise here. And then the build a little bit too heavy on the magical defense without getting any real pen. The only pen he had was Heartseeker, and that's a very small amount. I think it's what, like 10 pen. So yeah, you can't rely on that in that kind of situation when you're fighting into the breastplate. You need to be able to go a Titan's Bane or a Jotun's at least in that kind of situation. So I think kind of further hindered his late game performance, but really still a good showing from both of these guys. GG.